Teddy, how did Flick Got No Hair start?
So it was like pretty much my mum just bought me a sewing machine for Christmas one year, and I didn't really before that have any interest in embroidery. Well, I don't know. I liked the thought of embroidery, but I'd never really done it myself, and just got one and started sewing, and then people were like, "We like one of those. Can you make me a t-shirt?" And obviously at the start, I was just making. Someone would give me an old t-shirt, and I would just sew on it.
And how old were you when you started?
I was 20. I was 19, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just people started liking them, so I was like, screw it, I'll just try and make an actual thing out of it.
And then, do you see like the process that kind of the first products that you were making or garments that you were making, like 2 years ago? Have you seen there being a big transition, the quality, or the kind of you tried to push the boat out maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, at the start it was very much, as I said, just like a plain t-shirt, and then it sort of started to be more like hoodies and stuff, bit bigger garments where I could sort of cover them with more embroidery.
Is that when it turned more into the brand that we kind of know today?
Yeah, I think so. Because
did it start off kind of recreationally, just for your friends?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just making like a fiver here and there, whereas and then sort of went from hoodies to trousers, and then from trousers to sort of jackets, coats, whatever, like anything.
And then, so I know that you're from like you kind of have an artistic background, you were into it at school. Is there kind of like any transition maybe that you've taken from that art and kind of moved into the brands now today?
Yeah, I think because I was literally always working with 2D.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it was a nice transition going into embroidery, because I had a very sort of specific style with my drawing, with my painting, and then doing embroidery sort of completely flipped it. And at the start, it was quite frustrating because I knew what I wanted to produce, and I just didn't have the skills to make the details. But now, I've got, I don't know, I can make stuff look
how you want it to look.
Well, reasonably, but then it's still got that sort of edge. I mean, embroidery always looks a bit sort of imperfect.
Do you think the imperfection is the perfection in the brand?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what sort of gives it character. If it was too perfect, it would, because it's all freehand embroidered, and I think if it was too perfect, it would look machine embroidered. So
and it would just look kind of mass produced and
exactly.
So when people look at your brand, look at Flick Got No Hair, do you think they're looking for that kind of that character, that it's clear that someone has worked, has spent a lot of time on each individual garment, on each individual detail?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope so. Some of the stuff is pretty simple, but I think people can definitely understand that it's taken a long time.
A long
yeah,
time.
I hope so.
And then, obviously, you really love what you do, and with kind of independent brands, do you look to expand your own brand, or do you see that as potentially having a negative impact on maybe the designs if you were to expand?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. So I started getting more and more just sort of simple, almost novelty t-shirts and whatever designs or commissions, and the more I was doing just a sort of simple little like word or something, I just started like not liking that. So I've slowed down on posting a sort of small embroidery, so I only post now on Instagram and on my website the more complex stuff, so people look at that and then think, I want something that like sort of detailed and that sort of complex, so that, because I was worried that I was just going to end up making 10 t-shirts a day, but not actually really showing what I'm capable of, if you know what I mean. And I don't want, I think it will completely take the fun out of it and take my sort of style if I'm just doing.
So what it is, it has turned into a brand. It's very much like the kind of brand ideologies are still very much like your own personal ideologies. And
as it grows, I want to, rather than it growing and then me making multiple of the same design, I'd rather it grow and I'm making fewer and fewer pieces, but spending 3 weeks on each piece and selling them for big dollar bills.
Okay. And then where's kind of your main kind of selling point from? Do you find that you make a lot more sales either through people messaging you on Instagram or sales on your website, or do you use any other like e-commerce platforms like Depop or anything like that?
I mean, I technically do have a Depop thing, but I don't know if I've ever used it. It's mainly, it's sort of different. On the website, more random people that I don't know contact me through the website, and then on Instagram, that's mainly sort of friends or mutual friends and stuff. But I mean, it's the people that have contacted me through the website are more other business owners or so. It is a different
there's definitely a difference
group. But I mean,